Do you remember when we found catacombs all over the world? I think we're all ready to go back and take it even further, exposing what is below our feet in nearly every one of our cities without us ever thinking about it. Are we all attracted to these cities, these locations, for a reason? A reason that you weren't aware of, a much darker truth than you were ever told about. And do you remember when I showed you all that these catacombs are right underneath the floors of these churches, places that were built with the knowledge that these bones of the past were placed into geometric shapes right underneath your feet on Sundays. When we go to Southampton, England, where we are told one of the strangest places in pre-war Southampton was the catacomb beneath the All Saints Church at the corner of High Street and East Street. And remember, this is all located every single time in the dead center of the city, with everything circling around it, with its location, Southampton city center, of course telling us that there was a previous church, where we know this is a reoccurring pattern in the narrative at this point, where they say that the first church was described as very ancient, and they supposedly demolished it, where after everything that we know here, I believe that there was only one church on this site, and it was the one that we are looking into, the supposed second church, where this story gets interesting. The foundation stone was laid by the Grand Master of the Freemasons, a church that they knew catacombs were underneath it, because they tell us down here that the building was completed in just 4 years, from 1791 to 1795, despite hardly having any funding. Completed in 1795 in 4 years, where the catacombs of the original church remained intact and were, of course, incorporated into the new building, showing that we are correct yet again, that these catacombs were there first and then the church came after, and were supposedly ancient, as we were told from earlier. Where ancient, in my opinion, meaning from the previous civilization, where a major event took place. And these bones have been placed underneath the floors of these palace-like structures all over the world for a designed purpose, when it goes on to tell us that the catacombs reached beyond the actual building, extending under High Street itself. And this is what we are told. We also know from episode 72 that these catacombs are mostly off limits to the public, where we are only shown a small portion, where we know that these most likely extended throughout the entire city. With the new organ being installed in the church in 1861, manufactured by Bevington and Son, where the son is not Bevington's son, in my opinion. I believe that the son is the mason, guiding the way to use the organ to connect with the people above and below the floorboards. When we have shown, according to ScienceDirect.com, piezoelectric effect is the ability of certain materials, including bone, to generate an electrical charge in response to mechanical loading, where we are finding out, in my opinion, how these so-called churches are being used and how they are operating as a machine. The heart of any bone-conducted system is the vibrator, which convert amplified sound. The mechanical vibration, the organ, connecting with these bones, as well as the people that are alive and above the catacombs. So I will ask again, are you 100% sure that you fully understand why you are inside one of these old world buildings on Sunday? Do you know who created these buildings and for which purpose? And I am not saying that all of them are like this, but we have proven that we should all be very careful where we go and what we are being used for. Do you understand that the people that use these buildings throughout history, they fully understand much more to this world than we are told, where it seems that they fully understand how to connect vibrations with bones, where through vibration or music from an organ, an electromagnetic field is produced that excites the magnet element and counterweight, producing movement or vibration within the actuator to change the electrical signal to vibration that can move through the bone-conducted pathway to stimulate the cochlea inside of your ear next to your brain. Do you understand what's going on now? Where this subject is much deeper than the world understood before, where the previous civilization was taking advantage of knowledge, an incredible understanding of human anatomy, possibly being able to manipulate people, and being able to connect it through vibration within a contained environment, where the bones extend out into the city, in my opinion, creating a vibration that reaches everyone in the radius, whether you attended on Sunday or not, where I bet you probably didn't think to research where the nearest catacomb was before purchasing your home, where in 1914, the graveyard was basically decommissioned, a removal of religious blessing, which is not fooling anybody. It's still there today. Removing the headstones, where it became a children's playground in the 1930s. When the church was bombed in 1940, and they tell us that 403 people were transferred out of the catacombs and moved to Hollybrook Cemetery, but others had disintegrated, where we can all take an educated guess at this point that there was more than 403 people in the catacombs, and they are most likely still in there, where the church was then demolished, where sources, of course, do not indicate exactly when. And now, today, they have shops on top of them, where they, of course, have the fire narrative right in there. Where I threw it out there a few episodes ago, suggesting that the fire narrative may be the location of where these catacombs are all located. This may be the nod, where we are finding clues and getting closer and closer to the truth. And we're just getting started. Welcome to episode 78 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app. I'll put the link in the description, and you can use my referral code, MLB. He also has my lunch break on the homeschool section of the app, which is really cool. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, Don Gaston, Christopher Arietta, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, PNR, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Suez KC, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, PKTFnews.org, Regna Saturna, Dendries NL, Juana Mesher, Sirius Feline, G Power, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, HK Sue, Isaac Wright, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Ultimus Maximus, Noble Task Homestead, John Adams, Easy and Whitney, Roberts O'Zolins, The Crypto Schizo, Rick Tapkey, Coach C, Jesse DeLeon, Blake, Billy Prater, Magnus, Paraplegic Coffee, The Phoenix Art, Jetski Chuck, The Arnolds, 3D6 Dot Space, Attila Power, VKH Bonner, Rod James, Bell's Clarions for God, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Peter Bottani, Dakota Dunn, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apoctoli, Jim Bro, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Glenn Gunderson, Pacific Crafted, HaggardT-shirts.com, Meta, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Old World Exploration, Kyle Logan, Bobo, WakeandBakeClothing.com, David and Irene, Michael Dingyu, Michelle Wilson, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Wayne T, Michael D. Connor, Hen Yardies, William Royal, C3SCOB, Ancient Tallow, Jeffrey Temple, Lil Miss, Lisa Boutwell, Luis Capice, SoniaDane.com, Thad Luop, James Alt, Bucksui, Code Dren, Big Pasty, Jason Prest, TheGoldenTeacher.co, Papa One, Suki Warrior, We the People, Dan McGee, Vince Moreno, Roz Matthews, Shibba Shaba in the darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Now knowing what we know and knowing what may be under the floor of more of these structures than we are actually told about, where it is possible that they didn't even know about this when they found these places. And this was possibly done by the previous civilization, which is why we are seeing our current civilization, the founders, or the finders, excavating these floors now all over the world. Or they call it renovating the floor, where we know what renovation really means, and we can see that there is so much more underneath these structures all over the world, where in my opinion, they lie to us and say, "We don't know what is beneath the floor," says director of the Department of Ancient Sciences. This is the guy who is responsible for the archaeological excavations of the entire floor area during the restoration of the pavement. So we don't know what we shall find. Where I think we know that they know exactly what they're gonna find. Are we seeing what's going on a little clearer? Comment below and let me know what you're thinking right now. I really enjoy hearing everybody's opinions and comments, or even just your reactions and feelings about what we're exposing to the world. Things that 99% of people may have never known before today. And it is a great time to be a part of this community. A community that is growing faster and faster every single week, where the pavement stones date from various periods, ranging from the medieval period, the old world. This taking place in March of 2022. And this place is home to the Holy Fire Ceremony, if you can believe that. And this is the location, we are told, that Jesus' empty tomb is, and where he was buried and resurrected, and where he was crucified. This is known as the Church of the Resurrection, located right in the center of Jerusalem. Yet again, and we've shown how the Mappa Mundi in episode 70 told us that Jerusalem was the true center of our map. And the center of Jerusalem is where Jesus was supposedly buried and crucified. Possibly an extremely significant thing that they found underneath the floors, where it of course has the fire in its narrative. If you can believe this, they know the exact month, May of 614, on the dot. I'm surprised they didn't tell us what time. And in 841, another fire. 938, same thing, another fire. And in 966, the basilica was burned again. These fires were no problem, of course. Rebuild after rebuild. The people of the 900s had it all under control, with renovations from the year 1555, where Donkeys Incorporated were shipping the materials by moonlight, when a fire severely damaged the structure again in 1808 due to a cow tipping over the candle. Oh, wait, no, that was supposedly in Chicago. So they don't tell us how any of these fires start, of course, where there are clearly nods, coded messages, where the more fire that they give us, the better the treasure. Is this what we're seeing here? The remains of the kings may still be in the unmarked pits under the church's pavement. They may be, they might be. They say they are unsure, but I think they know exactly what is going on underneath that floor when they have another fire breakout in 1840. So after 2 years, $11 million later of careful archaeological work, the so-called experts have wrapped up, where the excavation, of course, required closing it off to the public, the site where Jesus is believed to have been buried. So they're not going to tell us exactly what they found. They are, of course, going to have to give us something, or too many people will start asking questions. So they tell us that they found some coins and fragments of wall cladding that was covered with graffiti, telling us they did other restoration work of other parts of the basilica floor, where they uncovered an old world drainage system. We know that they did not rip up the entire floor of this place. $11 million, block it off from the public, all for some coins, some graffiti, and a drainage system. I think we're all beyond that point of knowledge. We all know that they found something much more interesting and meaningful. My guess is they found tunnel systems and catacombs. Let me know what you think they really found in the comments. Let's all take a second and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everybody who likes the videos. I thank you all, because you are all the reason that this channel continues to grow, hitting over 6 million views already. You are all the reason that we're able to continue to create episodes and expose more and more of the hidden narrative to the world every single week. The amount that you are helping this channel is incredible, and I can't thank you all enough. You are all a huge part of this team. Now, let's go deeper. This is the narrative that the faithful believe, that the floor covers the tomb where Jesus was put to rest after his crucifixion. So we know that a lot of these churches are home to much more under the ground. Even in Italy, they have the Catacomb Domitilla, one of the largest and most ancient underground cemeteries in Rome. One of them, where it holds an underground basilica, where you can of course buy your tickets today, profiting off of yet another catacomb. It is nice of them to have a student discount. Wow, they tell us that these were rediscovered and home to more than 26,000 tombs. These catacombs are part of a network of almost 40 catacombs that lie right underneath the city of Rome, serving as a burial place for more than 500,000 people. And now I know that we are 100% correct. We have confirmation that the catacombs were there and built first, where I was getting comments saying that that was possibly not the case when I suggested it in episode 72. Well, here we go. The basilica was built over the catacombs, and we know this now. What a very strange place to put a church, on top of skulls and femurs that we know are placed into geometric patterns, bones that have to be boiled, cleaned up, and polished, and then put into place. They were not simply moved due to overcrowding the cemetery. We know now there is something much deeper to these catacombs than we were originally told. And today, we have found missing clues. We have shown that there are so many more catacombs around the world than we were told, with networks of catacombs all under your feet in Rome. We have this documented now. We understand that these churches are most likely connecting with these bones through vibration. These bones that have been there for a very long time, a previous civilization that was here before us. And we know now that they are, and always have been, underneath our streets, underneath our cities, possibly used as ritualistic sites, where the catacombs also served as a meeting place to pray and worship in secret, where these underground catacombs are no longer a secret. And I believe they were never meant to be a secret. These are clues. As I have said in the past, this feels too much like a game for all of us to solve, with coded messages, connecting clues. All of it is out there for us to find, leading us deeper and deeper to finding the truth about our true past and possibly our future.